This is kind of a poem. I like to call it a jazz poem that really has nothing to do with jazz, except that it's references Charles Mingus, the famous jazz bass player who died of Lou Gehrig's disease, otherwise known as ALS. And it was inspired by a friend of mine who contracted ALS, and I wanted to give him a poem for his troubles, and this is what I came up with. Eyes like MIngus. Eyes like flint, like flecks of coal, like shiny bits of starless sky trapped in the ruins of a slag heap. Eyes like molten steel, sullen and angry, piercing, a bullet finding its mark, like a jaguar, passionate and alive, yet hating the trap, pacing behind the bars, bars like a skeleton, trapped inside the mind behind. Eyes like MIngus, like notes caught in the net, like a grid of notation, like MIngus in shamanic Mexico, trapped in a chair, no strength to grip, no fingers to coax notes with, no feet to stand up and count with, no time, no signature. Eyes like concrete shattering, like glass splintering, like the wrecking ball's slap, like voltage unregulated, like a passion laid bare to the gallery's scrutiny, like the madman's frothing nightmare, like the inexplicable accuracy of random fate, like a shot to the gut, like Coltrane's favorite things, like your fingers stilled. Eyes like an empty glass staring bug-eyed into space, upturned and dispassionate, like a dream lost in the stars. Eyes like MIngus, silent but never silenced. I'm not going to read all these. Trust me. Even I'm getting bored with my poetry. But I would like to read this one. It's in a similar vein, another jazz personality, Charlie Parker, sax player. It's called Yardbird Burned. Yardbird burned, all wick, no candle. Made it to the sun and back, unlike Icarus. Yardbird couldn't burn out. His spirit was the flame by which he burned. Yardbird burned till there was only a husk left, till all the notes, the bebop and bitty black notes, were piled at his feet like cigar ash. Yardbird swung his sax in a mighty arc, like an axe, spinning like a dervish, carving a niche out of the don't-take-it-for-granted walls of swing jazz tradition. Yardbird shaped a bop cigar cophagus out of his too brief time spent on planet Earth. The bop line firing volley after volley of bitty black notes skyward, unleashing them like blackbirds, blotting out reality's harsh light until the wee hours. Yardbird was never at ease, at rest, fingers always a blur, accelerating until time shifted gears in self-defense into slow motion, then to stand still. Yardbird smiled, 'cause only he saw the joke. Yardbird burned, did not really play his sax. It played him until his reed fell apart, broke down, disintegrated, broke Bird down. Time finished him with a smile on his face, death by cosmic relief. You say it was H that took his life, but you're wrong. H lulled Mr. Charlie into slowing down. Hypno enticed him. H slowed him down, promised him the means to survive this heartbreak we call living. H slowed the bird down, gave time a clean shot. Time took it from there. Yardbird burns still. Thank you. I'm ready to run down the street half naked. Give me a couple of those St. Pauli girls and I might do that. So we're two guys from Long Beach, as you already know, and we're basically financing our trip by selling books. So the poetry reading, this part of the poetry reading is over. There may be some poetry reading after this. I think we're actually talking about doing maybe a little open mic of some sort. But before we do that, I'd like to let the buying frenzy begin. So, and the book signing aspect of that too. So we hope that you will help us out. And if not, we'll still sit here and applaud you, even though you've broken our hearts. Okay?